Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another season of Super Rugby Pacific. We have had the pre-season. It was a pretty eventful one. We saw injuries. We saw some standout players starting to step up. For the Highlanders now, they're down in Dunedin for the opening contest up against the Crusaders without Fabian Holland, without Dylan Pledger, but still with plenty of fight in them and hopes of getting higher than dead last, like last year. But looking through at the starting lineups, both of these teams have a mix of All Blacks as well as a few absentees from their lineups, like I mentioned. But it's going to be a great game, hopefully a thriller for the opening contest of Super Rugby. We've got about 15 minutes till kickoff. We're going to be looking through at the lineups as well as what has happened last year between these two sides and what is to come for the teams as well. But we've got Bruce in the chat. We've got Anthony here too saying he misses Super Rugby. And yeah, it is great to have it back. Super Rugby pre-season, it was great. We got a little bit of a taste for the season, but now that it's fully back with a South Island derby as the opening contest, also we're going to get to see New South Wales versus Queensland in the Rugby Union match later on tonight. So it's a pretty good first day of Super Rugby overall. Hi, Hamish says, Matthias, welcome in. And hey, Hamish, how are you? I'm doing all right, other than hay fever. Hay fever's kicked me in the face today, so if I do end up sneezing on this live stream, you know exactly why, but for now, hasn't been too bad. So hopefully, fingers crossed. We have got there, let's go to Landers, spelling mistake number 11 for the Crusaders, says Kiwi Rob, so I assume Lester Nuku's name has been butchered. Yeah, there's no S in Lester, there you go. You must have looked straight through them to find the errors. Well done. We have got Morning Hamish from cool rainy Cape Town, says Ruth, and Crusaders on the top, says Taniela there. And lovely to see you again, Hamish says Ruth. And Morning Hamish says Lisa Fitness. Hope you guys are all doing well. So many of you popping in the early stages of this contest. Yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see what happens. I also do see Highlanders Reserves has got Ethan de Groot listed as the 17, which is interesting here. I wonder whether or not that is a late change that has happened, as I think originally it was going to be Josh Bartlett making his way off of the bench. We'll have to wait and see what has happened there. Overall for the Highlanders, come on the Highlanders, says Tiki in there, and Super Rugby Pacific is going to be brutal. The next week's going to be crucial. It's raining in South Africa like it's never rained before, says Kyle Julius. So yeah, luckily no rugby taking place in South Africa, other than I think the Varsity Cup might be starting up this week in fact. But looking through at the starting lineups, by the looks of it, it isn't Ethan de Groot in the starting side. Instead, he was listed as the number 17, Jack Taylor as the 2, and Angus Ta'aval, I believe, was also listed off the bench. So maybe they just got it all mixed up in that regard. Ollie Haig and Mitchell Dunshay as the locking duo. TK Howden, Sean Withy, and Lucas Casey. Now, that is a young man with a huge amount of potential and quite a bit of hype behind him. Now, with what's happened in pre-season with Fabian Holland, he was the key of the forward pack last year for the Highlanders. So someone like a Lucas Casey could really be the step-up option that they need. In that regard, Cold here in Dunedin says, Matthias, are you at the game, Matthias, or are you just watching from down south in Dunedin? And whether or not the weather's, it's still going to be chilly inside, but the good news is no rain, or at least inside the stadium there won't be. But it's been bucketing down here not too long ago. I assume that's probably hit Dunedin too. Got to sort out my subscription. Vodacom again, says Ruth. And the Crusader says Ruth there. And also not running in Wellington. And coming New Landers, tough game with the injuries to Hamish. Yeah, they did a kind of like a poll on Sky, which was how severe are the injuries to the Highlanders season. And 50% or more have said will be a tough year. They are just showing some of those guys who are out. Fabian Holland, Dylan Pledger, those were two young men who were supposed to really carry this Highlanders side throughout the season. We will look through at the back line though. It is Falau Pakatava, Cameron Miller as their 9 and 10 combination. Jonah Nariki out on the left wing with Timothy Tavatavanawai and Jonah Lowe in the midfield. Caleb Tangitau out on the right. He is back from his injury and hopefully can stay injury-free throughout the whole season. If he picks up any sort of injury, or Timothy Tavatavanawai, the Highlanders are probably almost done for the season. That is the sad reality. They haven't got a huge amount of depth just at this point in time, mainly because every time that they do get those injuries, they just have to keep on digging deeper to find the replacements. But Jacob Ratamatavuki Nepkins, he'll be an exciting one to keep an eye out for. He is at number 15. Looking through at the Crusaders, it is Finley Brewer. So the front row alongside George Bauer and Seb Calder. They have got George Bauer off of the bench alongside Fletcher Null. So a few more All Blacks off of the Crusaders bench than for the Highlanders. In this contest, Antonio Shalfoon and Jamie Hanna as the locking duo with Dom Gardner, Ethan Blackadder and Christian Leo Willie as the number 8. Noah Hotham at 9 alongside Reves Reihana, a young combination for the Crusaders. They do not have James O'Connor this year. He is overseas at the Leicester Tigers, but still, I feel like Reves Rehana, he's come a long way. They've also got Taha Kamara. I think that they are the two main guys that they're going to be looking at in that 10 jersey throughout the season. Of course, eventually we are going to see the return of Richie Mo'unga, but that is next season that we see that take place. Leicester Whainanuku out on the left wing, David Havili and Braden Enoch in the middle, and then Sevu Reece, the leading try scorer from last year's Super Rugby Pacific comp, and Che Fiaki. He is at number 15. We have got the 100 on point as always, mate. Says our underdog pick. And also we have got there about, come on, Highlanders. Yeah, I'm hoping this is going to be a close game, because looking through at what happened last year between these two sides, the game down at Dunedin was not ideal for the Highlanders. 43 points to 10 the end score in that contest. Now, that game taking place in Christchurch was a different story. I was actually at that game live, and it was one of the lowest scoring games of the whole season. It was eventful right in the closing moments. It seemed like we had a chance of going to golden point, but then in the end, the Highlanders missing that last-minute kick then resulted in Crusaders winning by 3. But the Highlanders will definitely not want a repeat of what we saw in that match up against the Crusaders last year in Dunedin. But yeah, it's a tricky one, because it's either going to be the Crusaders find their rhythm very early. They were beaten by the Blues in the last round of Super Rugby preseason. Even in preseason, the Crusaders do not like losing. And this Highlanders side, they know how important these first few rounds are, because they can pick up a couple early victories. It may just do enough to get them in a decent spot. Now, this is the way that the table sat last year. The Chiefs were at the top of the bunch, 51 points. Crusaders in second, but the Crusaders got the home final due to the Chiefs losing that playoff game up against the Blues in the round of 6. And then from there, the Highlanders, they were dead last. Pretty close with the Fijian draw. I think it came down to the fact that the draw had one more games, and that was the tiebreaker that did determine them to be above of the Highlanders, even though the points differential for the Landers was that little bit better overall. But question is, of these teams outside of the top 6, who will be the side that can really cement themselves up there this season? There's been a lot of talk about the Waratahs and whether or not maybe they can find the right momentum this season. The Highlanders, had they not lost those players just before the start of the season, maybe could have been a different story for them. Of course, we're still before the first game though, and for all we know, this Landers side could come out firing and do extremely well throughout this game. Hannah and Garner, good combo for the Crusaders, lots of potential. Says Ruth. Yeah, I do think Jamie Hannah's definitely one to keep an eye out for in terms of future locking options for New Zealand. Thoughts on that Afghanistan-South Africa game in the T20 World Cup? What a game. Yeah. The fact that not only did it go to a super over, but it went to a second one as well was just absolutely insane. Like a 6 off the last ball of the first super over to bring it to the second one was just, yeah. I think Afghanistan really butchered that one though. They probably should have won. But then the longer that it went on for, it just looked like the more it was going to end up with South Africa winning. And in the end, they did extremely well to be able to win in the fashion that they did. And Bulla Hamish, here the Super Rugby season starts. Who's refereeing and what's for dinner? Says Mr. Billy. So referee for this game, 1 second, we'll get you that bit of information. We'll go fixtures. And we'll go here. It should hopefully tell us. Teams, referee is Angus Gardner for this contest down in Dunedin. Will the Reds be dangerous considering they are losing Les Kiss? And will the Blues be dangerous considering we are losing our coach? Says Kiwi Rob. The Reds are always a tricky one for me because they have a lot of talent. You know, they've got Tim Ryan as one player who just really seems to step up in the back line. They've got McWright. They have got a reasonable injury list at the moment, though. I believe McDermott is out currently. I don't think they got Tom Liner due to injury, and also they were missing Harry Wilson due to injury currently. So they got a few guys out early, but if they can win their games up against Australian sides, that straight away puts you in a very good position to be able to go not too badly and find that kind of middle ground of the table, if not relatively high up there. But the Blues for me are a tricky one as well, because they've got, once again, they've got huge potential, but it's whether or not they make it happen. I see that they're big underdogs up against the Chiefs, but I don't know whether or not that should be the case because of the fact that there are so many Chiefs missing from that contest. Which Sky TV the match is showing? It is showing on Sky Sport 1 here in New Zealand, so we are going to be watching it on Sky all throughout the tournament. Just showing a little bit of a hype package for this competition. There are some outstanding players will be taken to the field, not just for this match, but throughout the whole tournament. And Meow says Moki there. And Fiaki also tried time, says Roof. Yeah, got a decent chance, Chaff Fiaki, of showing what he can do. And that number 15 jersey for this contest. He did kind of switch between 15 and 14 last year. Just pretty much slotting in where he was needed. Looks like a relatively decent crowd in Dunedin. Maybe not quite as many people as they would have liked, but it is still piling in. How's the zoo looking? Actually pretty empty, to be honest. The side stand, far side, looks like it's the most full, but the zoo is probably a third of the way full, maybe even less than that. Which is a bit surprising. I thought more would have showed up for this Highlanders Crusaders opening contest. We're just seeing the players just warming up and ready to go, ready to make their way out onto the field. Yeah, they've said there a few changes. So Bartlett's in the starting lineup alongside Wingham as the as the propping duo. I think those are the only changes. So they've decided to go with Ethan de Groot, and also they've gone with Angus Tarval off of the bench. Cost of living though, Hamish says Kiwi Rob. Yeah, I wasn't saying that it was like bad attendance for any reason other than the fact that just people aren't there. You know, I wasn't trying to write a narrative for it. How much is a ticket? I think for the tickets down in Dunedin, it's about, I want to say like 30 or somewhere around there for this game. Well, it depends on where you sit. I think it's cheaper in the zoo normally compared to other places. We'll have a quick look while we're at it, because I think they'll still have tickets available. Purchase tickets, Forsyth Barr. We're on Ticketek, find tickets. Surely you can't buy a ticket this late, just before the kickoff. It looks like you can. Okay, so they're actually going for the zoo, $17.50. And then there's the most expensive, $70. And then $50 for the kind of side stadium seats. And then $40 for the Spates Silver, which I don't know what that is, but I'd assume it's some sort of Spates deal thing that gets you in there. But they are just showing the starting lineups once more. We are only a few minutes away from the start of this contest. David Harvilli, the captain, in that number 12 jersey for this game. But a very dangerous back three of Lester Fainanuku, Sevu Reece, and Che Fiaki as that number 15. I'm going to have a strong coffee now with lots of butter and pink salt, says Bruce. One moment, I'm about to sneeze, so I will very quickly mute before we get underway. We are good. But do let me know your score predictions as well, ladies and gentlemen. This one's very hard to predict, seeing as it is the opening contest of the Super Rugby Pacific season. Last year, the Crusaders were able to win this match down in Dunedin by 33 points. The game in Christchurch, they only won by 3 points. No Barrett's playing this weekend, says Kiwi Rob. Yeah, I think the only Barrett that probably would have played this week was Geordie, but then they've got a bye. So a Barrettless week in Super Rugby. It does not happen too often. Thoughts on the new rules, Hamish says, Nada boy. I want to see them in action first, but I'd say it seems like a good idea, some of them anyway, to try and keep the game flowing along. I'm not sure about the taking it back into your own half for a 50-22. I'm curious to see how much sides try and use that to their advantage when it comes to that kicking battle. I'd assume that it means that players will hang back that little bit more. Thoughts on the TMO changes? And what do you think about penalty tries without a yellow card, depending on how cynical a foul is? And if it's an individual or a group, I think it's a good move. I think penalty try should be a 5. Kicker still has to kick from wherever the penalty was given. Says the AI underdog pick. Yeah, see, it's the penalty try one's intriguing. I feel like if they were going to do it the way that you've suggested, what they could have maybe looked at doing is if it's a yellow card penalty try, they get the 2. And then if it's a non-yellow card penalty try, you still take the kick, or something like that they could have looked at if they were going to incorporate what you've said. In terms of the TMO changes, I'm hoping it's going to be relatively smooth sailing. Some of the games last year, we reached almost 2 hours. That's not ideal for a game of rugby. But then at the same time, the modern game does take that a little bit longer. They're just showing Lucas Casey here, the 22 years old youngster who's ready to go in this Super Rugby competition. The two sides just in their team huddles at the moment, as I'm about to sneeze again. One more second, ladies and gents. We'll hide off to the side once more. Right, we're good. Like I said, hay fever's been terrible today. As the young have on the bench for the Highlanders. Says Distracted Source. There are some good names in this Highlander side, but Have a Teeny Weenie is not one of them in this case. But I hope you are doing well, Tony. I hope you're excited for the Super Rugby season. You're the only Kiwi doing the commentary for this game. 2 cents isn't. Says Kiwi Rob. That's a lot of pressure then, isn't it? But it's kicked off by Cam Miller, and it's dropped straight away by the Crusaders. Looked like a clear knock on. Yep, it is. And it's going to go back now. Going to be the opportunity for the scrum. About 25 metres out from the line. This is a perfect position for the Highlanders to be, and the early chance to get something going down in Dunners. Morning from a cold tip. Do you ever sleep, lad? Gone 6 a.m. here, says Dennis. I sleep sometimes. Just weekends-wise, it's very tricky to get any sort of significant rest. Because that's the thing. We've got the Waratahs versus Reds game taking place after this one, and then about probably 7 hours after that, I'll have to be waking up and getting ready to drive for junior cricket. Because they have got their second game of the new season. And I am the coach, so I should probably show up. But going off to the left-hand side, Cam Miller, going off to Jonah Nariki. Tries to cut back inwards. Good tackle made down the wing by David Havili. Playing halfback here for Lau Whakatava, like we mentioned before the match. Dylan Pledger not going to be playing throughout this contest. Noah Hotham, he stands out like a sore thumb at the moment. He's got his bleached blonde and orange hair. Some were saying he was trying to channel his inner Finley Christie with the new haircut. Now 20 metres out from the line. All ball's been ripped away by the Crusaders illegally, though, as he was grounded. So a nice, easy 3 points out in front of the post if they want it. Here for the Highlanders to start us off. The ref's kit is very bright. His shorts are even brighter, aren't they? The bright blue in this case. Gardner looks stupid. Well, he probably didn't pick his outfit, though. I think he would have been given it. And let's go the Highlanders feeling excited for the season, says Tony. And there as well. Yeah, some great games to open up this competition. The fact that we've got the Pacific Island Derby taking place tomorrow. The Blues versus Chiefs as well. And then tonight, it's kind of like the New South Wales versus Queensland rivalry of rugby leagues transferred over to Union for the match. Now Cam Miller. Super Rugby Pacific 2025, he had 21 of 23. Now, unfortunately for him, I believe it was actually one of his misses came in that game up against the Crusaders, in which they did end up losing by 3 due to the missed kick. But that one straight down the middle. Easy kick for him. And the lead goes the way of the Highlanders, ladies and gentlemen, in the early stages of this match. Same old Saders always cheating, says Distracted Sports. They're just showing Fabian Holland. Man who will not be playing in this contest, was injured in the preseason fixture up against Moana Pacifica. Second would go like this. Hang on, what's happened now? Oh, they didn't have a ball. They were trying to kick off without one. Just showing a zoom in of Sean Withy as well. He's one of the co-captains of this Highlanders team, but it's kicked off by the Crusaders. Nicely taken by Mitchell Dunshay and a tackle made by Ethan Blackadder. Now Whakatava rolling it back. 25 metres out from the line at the moment, the Highlanders, so this one cannot go into touch, but Whakatava gets height on it. Running onto it, Che Fiaki, normally pretty safe under the high ball, shows off exactly why. In that one, bit of pressure in the breakdown. That was almost stolen for TK Howden, but now on the halfway line, George Bell runs it straight at the opposition. Looks like about 6 players in that breakdown. He's being told to use it. Now, one of the new laws of Super Rugby is if you are in the breakdown and then the referee says use it, oh, that's almost well done by Severis. He's tried to keep it in. And it looks like the call is he did well enough to stop it from going back to where it was kicked. But yeah, one of the new laws is as soon as the referee says use it, you're in a scenario where you can't add any more men to the breakdown, which is quite interesting. Highlanders, come on, says Bruce. An early 3 points able to go, says Kyle. One's nicely taken by the Highlanders just outside of the 22. And come on the Crusaders, says Bifter. And evening, Hamish and everyone. Crusaders for the win, says Studs Rays. Welcome in. You are doing extremely well. One hasn't gone a huge amount of distance there for Palau Pakatava. Awkward bouncing ball and another knock on. Few early errors from both sides at the moment, but it was always going to be the case. First game of Super Rugby. See Cody Taylor, Will Jordan, both going to be making their way off the bench for the Crusaders in the second half. Whakatavi was looking around very confused for that one, maybe because of that kick. He didn't quite get the distance on it that he was after, and looks like it was just a knock on from the Crusaders. Or at least I thought it was the Crusaders, but I think the Crusaders may actually have the scrum feed. Just looking around for the ball here. Yeah, Crusaders have got themselves the scrum. Crusaders will win, says Gavin. Have you got a score prediction, Gavin, for this contest? Do let me know. Oh, penalty goes the way of the Crusaders. This one 43 metres out on the angle. Kickable 3, but I do think that this Crusaders side, something that they did all throughout last year was be aggressive. And it seems like that's the plan yet again. Good morning, Hamish. How you doing? Doing very well. If you are also excited for the start of Super Rugby throughout this weekend, we've got a huge amount of streams too. I will mention we've got the Six Nations that we're going to be doing on the channel. Also, the Nairobi Sevens is taking place, which involves sides like Kenya, South Africa for the women. There's also Canada, USA, Germany, Belgium, Uruguay. I might as well name all the men's sides. George Bell ready to throw this one in. 10 metres out from the line here for the Crusaders with a dangerous start to this contest on the cards. Now rolling it sideways, George Bell hangs on to it. It's going towards the touchline, so has to cut back inwards, tackled by Pakatava. As well as Jack Taylor. Now 10 metres out from the line for the Crusaders, looking to the short side with David Havili. Christian Leo Willie thought about going for a pick and go, but wasn't quite quick enough. One of his Crusaders teammates had already got in there. That was Sever Reese. Now currently only sitting about 3 metres out from the line, and the Highlanders win the penalty. Clean out from the back from the Crusaders. In fact, it was Jack Taylor who also got in over the ball by the sounds of it. While all of that hecticness was happening in the breakdown, he was locked over the ball and wasn't letting it go. It's been a bad start for the Crusaders, says Kiwi Robin. 15 for the Highlanders, says Gavin. And the Highlanders says Catherine in there too. And come on, the Landers says Aheno. One second, we'll go like that and like that. Now line out throw here for Jack Taylor. What's happening in the game so far? Sorry, I was busy. So Josiah. So we saw the early 3 points go the way of the Highlanders after a penalty win against the Crusaders early on. 25 metres out, Cam Miller slotted it over. From there, the Crusaders started to find a little bit more of their rhythm when it comes to the territory of this game. But the Highlanders doing well in the breakdown. Big steal there for Jack Taylor just before. Currently 7.5 minutes through. The Highlanders back in position, only 5 metres out from their line after losing that line out. But Crusaders went for the grubber. I've been told to use it again here for Folau Whakatava. And that one hasn't found touch. Now Chafiaki on a crossfield. Reves Rehana goes to Sever Reese, the leading try scorer from last year's Super Rugby Pacific. Noah Hotham feeds it away to the left. Reves Rehana, distribution game on point at the moment for him. Out wide. Oh, he is there. Sorry, I thought for a second, I was looking out on the side, and I saw that it was Chafiaki on that wing, and I thought for a second Lester Whaiananuku may not have been playing, but no, he is there. It was just the fact that he was a little bit more inland. I've been supporting the Crusaders for 7 years now, says Josiah, and coming to the Crusaders, so do you feel they're going to win this one? Josiah, not just this game, but this season. Can they make it back-to-back? Where's the game tonight? This game has taken place in Dunedin. So last time in last year's competition when they played in Dunedin, the Crusaders actually won 43-13, I think it was. Or somewhere around there. But hopefully this year it's a little bit closer. Another line out though for the Crusaders from inside of the opposition 22. Ethan Blackett. It was a bit of a short pop pass to David Arvili, who's done very well to hang on to it. Hotham now thought about going to the right, but instead goes left. Now Chafiaki. Good defence from the Highlanders thus far. Onto the ball again, and it's the youngster Lucas Casey who manages to rip that ball away. So far they've managed 2 turnovers in the breakdown, and neither of them have been to Mothi Tavatava. Almost taken off down the wing was Caleb Tangitau. 25 metres out. Big collision on TK Howden by Gardner and Blackadder. I've been a Blue supporter since Sir Michael Jones' days. Meow City. I'm confused. Which one is Meow City? Is that like Is that against the Crusaders or the Highlanders? I'm not with the inside knowledge about meowing. Oh, that's going to be a penalty again going the way of the Highlanders for no clear release. That time it was Timothy Tavatava. As the lineups on the screen correct, who's at 3 for the Landers? So they actually made the change late in this pre-match situation. It was initially going to be Ethan de Groot and Angus Ta'avao as the 2 starters. I wonder whether or not it's because the Crusaders went for their 2 off the bench, or maybe there was an injury or something, but I believe it's actually Josh Bartlett and, is it Wingham? It might be Wingham at number 3. But yeah, I have a feeling, if it was an injury base, it was just purely because of the fact that the Crusaders went for their All Blacks off the bench, and then the Highlanders said, actually, we want to switch that so that it's the same. Now, nicely taken there by George Bell. He goes for a grubber in behind. It's going to be a knock-on, accidental offside. Now, this is interesting because this is now the opportunity for a free kick rather than a penalty in this scenario. So this is the first time that we've seen this law in action for the competition. So free kick will give them a quick tap and then we're underway. It's one thing that they've decided to add to the Super Rugby competition to try and speed up play that little bit more. Right, gotcha. So Ta'avao on the bench. Yep, so Ta'avao and de Groot both making their way off the bench in this game. Now off to the left-hand side, popped in behind by Jamie Hanna. David Havili and Lisa Fainanuku on his outside decides against going to him and instead takes contact with 2 of the Highlanders forwards. Only 11 minutes through this contest. Noah Hotham, middle of the field, good tackle made low. Now a pick and go from Noah Hotham. He pierces through a gap. He's trying to do it himself. He fends off Jacob Ratamaitapuki Nipkins, but ends up dropping the ball. And instead now the Highlanders on the counter-attack with Sean Withy. He did a nice little bursting run. The old drop ball from Falau Pakatava plays it from the ground. Oh, big swinging tackle there from Reves Rehana. Went straight past the man with ball in hand. We have got there Taiwan once again. Has become a member. Greatly appreciated once more, mate. Now this one's gone high from Falau Pakatava. Chasing after it, Jonah Nariki, but it's taken by Che Fiaki safely under the high ball yet again. It's one thing that a lot of people feel could get him into that All Blacks contention. And come on, William Wallace, freedom, says Sock. And hardest part of saying the names, says Gavin in there. Now rolling this one back, Noah Hotham. Goes for the box kick once more. Sever Reese trying to pierce through the defence, and he's done very well to be able to claim that one. Now Hotham, there's a lot of space now on the outside. Oh, another drop ball. That time it's Braden Enor. Wasn't able to hang on to it. Has to release it. Doesn't do so, and it's a 4th turnover in the breakdown for the Highlanders. I can't blame the rain for ball drops. Says Kiwi Rob. And come on, someone score a try already, says Jathan. So this game at the moment is shaping up very similar to what we saw the last time these 2 sides played. It was in Christchurch, and it was 15-12 as the end score. Now, these 2 sides have been doing very well in terms of cancelling each other out in recent history. It seems like they're going to do that again. Got the Highlanders from an Aucklander. Says Naz Williams there. Of course, the Blues, they're going to be in action tomorrow up against the Chiefs. We will be covering that game on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, alongside Moana Pacifica and the Fijian Roar, going head-to-head early, and perhaps even Brumbies versus Western Force. And dropping the ball so many times, there's Gavin. Yeah, it hasn't been an impressive start for either side handling-wise. Rusty Sart says, Nara boy. Oh, hands off Timothy Tavatavanawa. Good that time, though, taking the pass. Now for Lafakatava, moving away to the right-hand side. Caleb Tangitao thought about going for the chip in behind, but it sits up now at the back for Reves Rehana and the Crusaders. Another drop ball from David Havili. This time it goes backwards. Where's the mighty Williams? I think he's being rested for this game. And Rob Penny beforehand kind of said that it was all about trying to rotate, give the guys who did well in pre-season a bit of an opportunity here too, but it's a relatively long season, so I think they're just trying to ease some guys back into it as well. What's your score prediction here? I don't think we're seeing over 20 points for each of these teams. Like, one team might get, let's say, 25-19 or something like that, but I don't think it's going to be a massively high-scoring game. One's gone into touch from Noah Hotham. I'm not sure who told him that colour here was a good idea for Noah Hotham. Maybe it will grow on us as the season wears on. But I saw some people say they thought that Willie Hines was making a return for the Crusaders when they first saw it. Going off to the right-hand side for Lau Whakatava. Away to the right-hand side, quick hands for Tomothi, Tava. This is nice from the Highlanders. Space on the outside, Jacob Ratamatavuki Nipkins goes to Caleb Tangitau. Towards the corner he goes, and he scores the try. Caleb Tangitau, welcome back to that man as they take the lead by even more points in the early stages for the Highlanders. But Caleb Tangitau, he's picked up from where he left off. He's scored a lot of tries last year, ended up with that season-ending injury, but he's back and already scoring within 15 minutes of the new season. The backline movement for the Highlanders, Tamoti Tabataba Nawai, he shoveled it on to Nariki, who found the hands of Jacob Ratamaitapuki Nepkins, and then Tangitau was in the wide channel. There was a chance there, Reves Rehana, just a bit of a poor tackle attempt, really. And he goes in for the first try of the game. Tangitau was so tough, says freshman, and nice, says another boy. And also, your beauty suck my Crusaders, says distracted. It's such a pathetic tackle attempt from Nehana. It looks so much worse in slow motion too, because he kind of looks like he started the tackle attempt and then went, oh, that might hurt my arm, I'll pull it away. Which is not ideal when you're the last defender, but obviously didn't back himself to be able to slow down Tangitau whatsoever. That one's going to miss away to the side for Cam Miller, making him 1 from 2 tonight. Damn, some of these Māori names are crazy long, says Taiwan in there. Yeah, like if any stage throughout this match, Lester Whainā-Nuku gets tackled by Jacob Ratamaitapuki Nepkins, it's pretty much a whole sentence just for those two individuals by themselves. Tangitau definitely on the table, especially for Jake, says the AI. And also we have got there, for Jamie. Now Reves Rehana kicking that one off long. Very long, in fact, only 5 metres out from the line for Jacob Ratamaitapuki Nepkins, puts it into touch. Can already see a positive sign from the Highlanders. Usually the Crusaders would score very early. I went down on their try line, but obviously have defended perfectly. Yeah, they've done very, very well defensively throughout the last, in fact, the whole game, they haven't really made too many errors defensive-wise. And the thing that's more, I guess, ensuring is the fact that they've had the 4 turnovers won in the breakdown. Those are the type of numbers we don't normally see from this Highlander side, except for Timothy Tavatava-Nawai. Now passed on the outside, Sever Reese tries to go for the grubber in behind. Going to be claimed by Jona Nariki to return fire. Just having a quick look here. Last time these two sides played, at this stage of the contest, the Crusaders already had 2 tries of Will Jordan and a Cody Taylor yellow card. So this game's looking very different compared to last year when it was 43-10. One's pulling up just 5 metres out from the Crusaders line after a little bit of aerial ping-pong between the two sides. Chaifiaki, that's a good kick in the end. Getting it downfield and about 40 metres out. There'll be a chance here for the Highlanders. Crusaders need to pull up their socks, says Ruth there. And Tangitau could be an All Black this year, says Johnny. He absolutely could be. And I actually think he would have been last year had it not been for those injuries. It was just the wrong timing, and he did almost get that opportunity near the end of the year. But had he not been injured during the regular season, I think he would have been in there 100%. Hard to not think about Holland, says Nars Williams. Yeah, and the fact that he's out for the season, like straight away you'd think that would be a really concerning factor for the Highlanders. But, their line out, it's been all right so far. Of course, there's still plenty of time for to kind of go wrong, but they've got that experience at line-out time, which is quite good. He is injured too, sucks, man. Says Sock. And if Jonah Nari can stay injury-free, will make a huge difference to the overall Highlander season. Yeah, if most of the Highlanders can stay injury-free. Like, last year they had those early injuries and it hurt them. The year before that, they had an injury list of about 15 players, and I think it was the same the year prior. So they've had a really unlucky run with the amount of guys that they've had go down. I like this new team lineup graphic. Says the Lim report, very nice. Yeah, although I have been pointed out that Lester Whainā-Nuku's name is spelled wrong. Although, to be fair, I don't know whether it would have fit if I had an extra S in there. That's a big knock on from the Highlanders. Now Sever Reese running down the wing, running out of space. Gets a nice pass on the inside to Ethan Blackadder. It was then tackled by Nariki. Now short side, Hotham's going. And Hotham will be scoring for the Crusaders. Gets it down the wing, points at the camera and says, thanks very much for coming. Crusaders' first try of the year. Hotham, he did just spot that little bit of space on the short side. And it was not a massive amount. It was probably only a couple metres, but Sever Reese was using plenty of speed. Did he use AI to design this? I did not. There's actually a fella from South Africa who's very very skillful when it comes to graphics making and whatnot. He has been on the channel a couple of times. And yeah, he was more than happy to get the layout, and then I added all the names in, which you can tell by the spelling. And then we went from there, tackled the man in the air, damn cheating, says, distracted, and kind of taken the air, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah. They didn't check it, which is surprising. 1 second, we'll go like that. And like that, but Reves Rehana, he gets that one over and makes the score now 8 points to 7 between these two sides. The Crusaders top look like county stops. And who scored? It was Noah Hotham. And then also on the other side, Caleb Tangitau. So those are your 2 try scorers so far in this match. I think Severis got a chance to get in the All Blacks. Yeah, see, it's an interesting one with Severis. Because some people love him, some people don't like him. And like the Crusaders season, he did a lot. The All Black season, he didn't get as many minutes as some thought he would. But then, like, he had a really weird up and down season because he'd have a game where he'd scored 2 tries and then they left him out for like a month and a bit. Then he came back and scored another 2 tries. So, like, he's a clinical winger, but it's just whether or not he fits the mold. That's a forward pass from Leicester Whaiananuku. I have no idea how they can miss that one right in front of 2 touch judges, or the touch judge and the ref there. Surely they're going to have a look at that. If the Crusaders score now, right, it's going to be kicked to mine by Braden Enoy anyway. Looking for a little bit of territory. It's taken by Cam Miller. And that one is booted into touch. I like these new rules. The game is already halfway through, says the Lim report. Anybody's game here, so Amish says Ruth. Yeah, it seems very close at the moment between these two sides. David Havili has been busted open big time. It looks like it's actually the eyebrow that has been cut open for David Havili. I still don't know how that wasn't given as a forward pass from Whaiananuku. But it looks like the Crusaders going to be using this one quickly. Is anyone sitting in the Spate stand seat 146? Oh, okay, no idea whatsoever. You can probably look on Ticketek, though, because I know that they had tickets available right up until kickoff. Now kicked to behind by Leicester Whaiananuku. That one curving towards the sideline. Nariki gets his boot away. He's done very well to not hit Whaiananuku with the ball. I like Burling, don't like Sale GP. Says Sock. I have a feeling the Crusaders will strike back in the second half. And yes, 8 points to 7, says Josiah. What's the time there by you, Kiwi Sir? At the moment, it is almost 7:30. We're 2 minutes away from 7:30. David Havili's still getting patched up by one of the medics. He wants to get going in this game. But now he's all right. He's maybe stopped leading for now. To the right-hand side for the Crusaders in possession. 7:30 p.m, says Matthias. Now passed across to the right-hand side. Reves Rayana. That's an awful pass. And a drop ball there from the Highlanders as well. They will go back for the initial scrum feed to the Highlanders side. Crusaders had a bad start to the game, but the Crusaders now starting to find more rhythm. Legend, are you doing the Waratahs game? I actually am, believe it or not. I learnt last year, and this is really bad on my part, we didn't do a single Australian team versus Australian team game last year. Oh, Will Jordan's making his way onto the field here. What's happened now? I assume that's for David Havili. Why are there so many handling errors? I'm not actually too sure. Maybe early nerves in the season, perhaps. But yeah, Jordan comes onto the field with David Havili, who I believe has gone off for an HIA here. But yeah, we are doing Waratahs versus Reds. That nice Queensland-New South Wales rivalry. They're just saying they're the Crusaders. Still struggling to find their rhythm at the moment. They are only down by 1. We have got their Fa'aiga Nuku, says Louis. Because we don't want any Australians, says Nazi Williams. That will be the early penalty, the scrum to the Highlanders. How many hot dogs have currently been consumed there? And what is the percentage of purchases currently that have been paid for a Gem Visa card? Says Jason, well, I know that you're down in Dunedin. You probably know a thing or two about swallowing a hot dog, so I'll leave those statistics to you, as you probably have a lot more information about the quality of hot dog down in Dunedin than myself. And hey, Hamish, are not bad woman. Oh, sorry, hey, Aussie are not bad woman. What? always around April and September. If they're not mistaken, Bruce says they are underdog pick. Now pass across, Jonah Nariki. Nice step from Jacob Ratamatabuki Nepkins. And tackle low by Christian Leo Willie. And there as well. 20 that breakdown. Referee will tell them to use it. So no one else allowed to join this breakdown now. Whakatava kicks it high. Caleb Tangitau was in front, so has to pull out of the chase. Nicely taken by Tomothi Tabatabanaawai. Around the halfway line. Another box kick from Whananoku. No, in fact, that time it was Whakatava. My apologies. And now, Reves Rehana. He will exit the 22. We have Gadair's Waimeni hot dog up to our big city standards? Probably not. I think every single place in Waimeti serves the exact same hot dog. Like, there's no variety whatsoever. The Lions Club used to do a great hot dog. They now just do the same hot dog that every single store around the whole region does. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Glenavy, though, they have like 6 different types of hot dogs in their warmer. About 5 of them are terrible, but you might get a good one every once in a while. There goes any sort of sponsorship from them in the future, isn't it? Currently 45 metres out from the line here. The Highlanders in possession. Across to the right-hand side. And we got how many hot dogs? So pretty much the same one as Jason said. At least it's better than your meow comments that you were making. You want a South Auckland chicken neck? That sounds like it's a threat, but I think it's like an actual food, right? And Crusaders will be unstoppable in the second half. And that's the first 20, says captain. So far we saw the try of Caleb Tangitau and then the answer back try from Noah Hotham. Outside of that, we haven't seen a huge amount so far. Whainea Nuku. I say Les's last name like this. Says Lloyd. Also, we've got the Crusaders are likely to score another. Says Rim. Just showing the work in the breakdown there from TK Howden initially to try and look for those turnovers. Once again, we've seen about 5 of them already throughout this contest from the Highlanders. The Crusaders only getting that 1 steal, and that was early on, and they were penalised for it. Looks like David Harveli, though, will be able to make his way back out onto the field. He is past the HIA. Where's Hotham? Or what is Hotham's hair? Blonde and black. I don't think he's got any black in it for Noah Hotham. I think it's just purely bleach blonde that he's decided to go with in this case. Anywhere that it looks a little bit more black, I think it's just purely because of the dye not quite settling the way he'd like it to. And Whainea Nuku, says Lloyd. And you should come to South Africa for our Borwers rolls with caramelised onions. It's like a hot dog on some heavy roids, says Ty. Sounds all right. We see there Ethan Group sitting there blowing on his mouth guard at the moment on the halfway line. Same with Angus Tavo, although he doesn't blow it on his mouth guard, but he will be making his way onto the field in the second half. Have you ever graffitied on that Waimeti shed with a 5K sign when passing on the way to Timaru? No. No. Have you? Hot dogs, it's Goyim slop bread, says Bruce. Yeah, but it tastes all right, doesn't it? So that's all that matters. 27 minutes through this contest. Highlanders now with the scrum feed. Whainea Nuku. He will be lurking on that far side of the field, and that is exactly where the Highlanders are looking to go to as Caleb Tangitau is patiently waiting for his opportunity. Now Sean Withy. Oh, looks like the turnover was good there for a second for Christian Leo Willie, but then taken straight back by Juna Nariki. TK Howden plays half. Oh, drop ball from the Highlanders and the knock on again, so we're going to get ourselves another scrum. And we have got blowing on his mouth guard. I was cracking up how some comments were trying to argue that dead time is all good. Says the AO Underdog. Have you ever ate soup with a fork in a 2-story house with a silk chair? I don't think I've ever eaten soup in a 2-story house, let alone with a fork. And yeah, I don't think I would have sat on a silk chair. Silk chair sounds like it wouldn't be as good as it seems. I feel like it would be a bit slippery, wouldn't it? A bit of silk. Seen some silky footwork between these two sides. Will Jordan, he was on the field for approximately 3 minutes before he got taken back off, as David Harveli did pass his HIA. Now, Noah Hotham. Can't get that ball in. Another penalty awarded to the Crusaders. We're already 28 and a half minutes through this contest, ladies and gentlemen. We've had 2 tries thus far, the one for Noah Hotham. And one for Caleb Tangitau. Now, that is a good kick downfield from Reves Rehana. Silk chair is what Elton John sleeps on. Why does he sleep on a chair rather than a bed? It just seems like an interesting... Unless it's like, I assume it's like a really big chair. Maybe. Damn, time is flying by. Last 15 minutes, find your rhythm. Says Josiah. And come on, the Crusaders. Yeah, this is the first time that the Crusaders have been on the attack since probably that Noah Hotham try. I think ever since then, they've been on the wrong end of the field. Now, Leo will... Oh, gosh, there's another knock on from the Crusaders. These boys can't hold anything at the moment. Good morning, Uncle Hamish. Are you working today? Says Mohadeen. Well, it's currently 7:30 at night time. But no, I managed to get the day off today. It was a bit rainy and a bit terrible looking. However, they don't know, says Sook. And I will ask him next time I pull out. What does that mean? Pull out or pull up? I hope you mean pull up. Turnovers conceded at the moment. 8 from the Crusaders compared to the 5 of the Highlanders. 7 handling errors for the Crusaders and 5 penalties going against them as well. I mean, how can you say if you want ball in, go play, watch league? Or if you want ball and play, go watch league. Love how you pronounce the Pacific Island names out of respect. And so it doesn't absorb moisture. My missus sleeps with silk pillow. So what is so if she sweats, it just rolls down the front of the pillow? Is that what you're saying? Does it actually not? I kind of want to get a silk pillow now and spray it with a hose. Just to see. Good science experiment. We have got the hello Hamish, welcome back. Here's Daniel, welcome in. You are doing very well. When it's the Springboks women play, and they are playing 5 times throughout the next kind of 2.5 days, but that is taking place from tomorrow night. I know, yeah, you're still keen to sell the headphones, says Nick. Well, they're still working, so surely that's got to be worth something. The fact that they're still going since last year. Jacob Ratamatavuki Nepkins claiming that high ball. Had a bit of a stalemate now between these two sides. Neither one really scoring, and both sides dropping the ball a lot. More so the Crusaders, though. 7 handling errors throughout the first 31 minutes of this game. That one's going to be kicked high. Oh, big knock on from Chaifiaki. Make it number 8. Oh, cross kick from Ratamotavuki Nepkins. Nariki chasing after it. Bounce of the ball doesn't work out. Goes to Severis. He's tried to keep the ball in the field of play. Almost threw it straight into the hands of Jonah Nariki. Are you doing the under-20 Springboks game? When are they playing, Mohadin? I didn't even know they were playing. I think someone mentioned about it last week, didn't they? But I can't actually remember when they said what's taking place. One moment, I'm about to sneeze, so I'll very quickly mute. We are good. Right, it's taken back by the Crusaders. Is the ball up to current inflation requirements? A shape is not informed in any way. You'd assume not, because the Highlanders seem to be catching it all right. Sunday against Georgia, says Mohadin. You see, I don't actually know what time that one's taking place, but there may be something else that overlaps with it, perhaps. Let me know what time it is South African, Mohadin. And we have a quick look now. Ball on the inside. Goes to Noah Hotham. He's tried to go for the boot in behind. That one's going to roll into touch about 5 metres out from the line. Jamie Hanna, he thought he was in for a second there. And who's going to win Super Rugby this season? I think there's a decent chance that we see a New Zealand side win. But, I don't know, this has been a good start for the Highlanders. So who knows, maybe they are a real contender this season too. Cam Miller just clears that one from inside of his own 22. Now line out throw for the Crusaders, 25 metres out. Oh, that's Golden Man, I'm still keen, says Nick for the headphones. And Crusaders for the win. Is the grass green and soft enough in case you fall? And is there any roots that are potentially safety hazard? Very concerned for these fragile boys. No, I don't think there's any roots out there on the field. I don't think they allow that. maybe after hours. But now ball's going out to Che Fiaki. And trying to steal that ball in the breakdown is Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. That one's going to be offside advantage in favour of the Crusaders. The ball is still there. It's almost stolen by Jonah Lowe. As Jamie Joseph coaching the Landers, he certainly is. Up the Landers, says Kaiko. Or Kaikos, is it? Maybe. Not the Canes, I wouldn't think, says Scott. Right, what do they do here, the Crusaders? It looks like once again they are kicking this one towards the corner. Going aggressive here. Got a lot of dangerous players in the backline, but none of them have really looked like scoring. And just the last few breaks. Noah Hotham, the lone try scorer for the Crusaders after 34 minutes in this game. But they find their way over here. George Bell is the hooker for this first half. Cody Taylor will be making his way on in the second. Nicely taken by Jamie Hanna. Rolling mould. Looks like an absolute mess. It's all fallen down. That ball's not coming out. At the moment, it's stuck in there, and the Highlanders get themselves the scrum feed. That was mainly Lucas Casey, by the looks of it there. Or he has taken a lot of the credit for it. Highlanders win, lose quarters. Crusaders win final, boring. Says in a light. We rep that Chiefs around here. Chiefs are the OG head, I'll say boss around these lands. Even the emblem with the Patu Gangster, says Stasi. And I'm watching the game, but listening to your commentary since there's, or their ones are not good, says Josiah. But yeah, we're going to be here for a lot of the Super Rugby Pacific season, ladies and gents, so be sure to stick around. The first of many games taking place on the channel. Can you see what time? I can't find it, the team. Whereabouts did you see that they were playing on Sunday, though? Because I'd assume that they would have it somewhere for that. If they have what day they're playing, surely they include the date or the time too. Now Tiamat is out from their own line here for Lafakatava. Ready to kick this one downfield. And again, doesn't quite manage to find touch. Goes to Whananoku now to Chefiaki. Oh, big collision with Jack. I think he's dropped the ball as well. It's as if the Crusaders going, as soon as someone touch us, throw it at them. Because they have knocked the ball on almost double digits throughout this first half now. And you thought about doing the under-26 nations? Little bit, but it also does mainly overlap with my junior cricket coaching. So it means that I wouldn't be able to do half the games anyway. So that's the main reason why not doing it. He just read the comment, bro. But it's pre-recorded, he reckons. That would be impressive to somehow be able to predict exactly what everyone's going to say in the comments, so then to just pre-record these a few hours beforehand, and also perfectly predict the game too. That would actually be kind of spooky. Can you guess who's likely to lead the first half? Oh, there's only 3 minutes remaining, and the Highlanders are up by 1 with a penalty in their favour 40 metres out from their line, so they've probably got a decent chance to stay in the lead here, unless there's some sort of big turnover. It's next week, Wednesday. Wednesday South African time, or Wednesday, I'd assume South African time, right? Now ready to throw this ball in. Come on, the Crusaders, don't lose the game. Now, going to the front there, nicely played to the hands of Lucas Casey. There's going to be a free kick here going the way of the Crusaders. 1 second, we'll click that. South Africa under-20 Junior Springboks, scheduled to kick off 4 p.m. There's a second match of their tour, following their opening game on Feb 18th. Okay, so they're playing on February 18th first. Is it up against each other, or is there someone else they're playing? Now off to the right-hand side for the Highlanders, who are back in possession. Fakatava told to use it. Oh, that's actually, yep. Yeah, okay, no, they've done well there. He did join the breakdown, TK Howden, and he was told by Falau Fakatava as well as the referee, you're not allowed to do that. Wasn't a free kick or anything against him. He was just told to get out of it. Now, left-hand side, Finley Brewis. Let's hit that ball up. Chefiaki moving away to the left-hand side. Skip pass from David Havili. Goes up to Listafana Nuku. Now offload, George Bell. Oh, fins off the Mufti Tava Nawai. Can't quite get that steal in the breakdown. Liking the form of the Landers. Yeah, they're going all right this first half. And it could have been much worse. You know, they lost Fabian Holland before the season got underway, and everyone went, that's not going to be good news. They're currently doing very well. Halftime prediction says Oram, I think it's going to be 8-7. There is half a chance that the Crusaders get some form of points here. Maybe they go into the halftime break 10-8 up if they win a penalty. Is Kiwi Rob what they refer to as a nerd? He always puts big comments. He uses a lot of, like, Google and normally copies and pastes from there, but he's very speedy with it. Like, everything you're seeing now, I believe, is just straight off, like, Google AI or whatever it is. But now, ball's there for the Crusaders. They have got themselves the penalty advantage. Kicking behind, attempted from Noah Hofema. It hasn't really worked out as it goes straight to Jakabrata Matavuki Nipkins. There's my guy, Tava Nawai. That's one of Scott Robinson's biggest mistakes, not putting him in early enough. Yeah, see, he was getting very limited game time and then ended up going back to NPC and he got injured, didn't he? Okay, they have called for the shot here, the Crusaders, so it seems like they will go into the halftime break 10 points to 8 if they do manage to convert this. They've got 15 seconds remaining. Was Kiwi Rob born in 1895, as his ID suggests. And Google AI says Kiwi Rob there, and yes, it's Chiefs versus Brumbies. Now siren sounding, but Reves Rehane is sitting 1 from 1 today. So decent chance to be able to convert. Add the additional 2. I was born in 1988. And Rehane has snuck it over. So as eventful of a first half as it was with drop balls and knock-ons from the Crusaders, they somehow still lead in this contest. Playing Leicester on the wing was a stupid move, says Scrotomus. So would you have played him at, I guess, 13 instead? So what games are you doing this weekend, says Mohadin? There's a lot. And I haven't completely worked it out yet, but we're doing 3 games of the Six Nations. We're doing Fiji and Drua versus Moana Pacifica. We're doing Blues versus Chiefs. There are some games of Sevens too that we're doing, the Nairobi Sevens. Not 100% which ones just yet. But that's the start anyway. We've got a few others going in there as well. If it's true, coach will be announced in a week or 2. Of me, if it's Jamie, he must step down. A big loss, but systems will need to take place. See, here's the A underdog. Yeah, see, it'll be very intriguing to see what direction they go. And some thought that they may have announced it before Super Rugby so that he would have time, if it was him who got the job, so he'd have time to be able to make those adjustments. But yeah, they're still going through that process. And on the Springboks women's game, not all of them, as one of their games does overlap with Blues versus Chiefs, but I think about maybe 2 or 3. I like the NZRU and AB's coaching, also botching Sean Stevenson. He's that guy as well. Incredible player, clinical with finesse, silly. Yeah, he's currently, is he playing in Japan at the moment? Or did he go NRL? It was one of the 2, wasn't it? For Sean Stevenson. Snuck in that one from Rivers. Is at halftime already? Well, yeah, already 40 minutes down in the Super Rugby season. And to be fair, that was only about a 43-minute half. So obviously the things that they are doing to try and speed up the game, they are working. We had a lot of scrums throughout that first half, mainly because of all of those knock-ons that we saw. You're looking very happy, says Mohadin. Yeah, I always get confused when you say I look like I'm very angry on those late night live streams. I think it's just because of the bloodshot eyes from not sleeping for like 20 hours. The changes have been made. It is what it is, so the time to act would be now. So yeah, it's the AI underdog pick. Were you cast as Stranger Things main Chata? I assume that's supposed to be character, but it's not even close to the spelling, is it? As this first game of the Super Rugby season, it is. So first of many. Now for these 2 sides, they have got plenty more matches that will be taking place throughout the Super Rugby season. These are the games for... Yep, that is the right one. For next week, Hurricanes versus Moana Pacifica. That game taking place at the same time as this game was kicking off. Waratahs versus Fiji and Drua. That will be the later game on the Friday night. Then Highlanders, Chiefs and Force versus the Blues as the 2 on Saturday. And then this is actually where we see the Sunday afternoon fixture between the Crusaders and the Brumbies. That is at 3:35 p.m. New Zealand time. Then from there, we follow up with the next week. And that is Moana Pacifica versus the Western Force, Reds versus Highlanders, Fiji and Roa Hurricanes, Chiefs Crusaders, a rematch of the Super Rugby Pacific final. That will definitely be one to keep an eye out for. And then Brumbies versus Blues as the last one there. So that's how it shapes up. Are you doing the URC games when they're starting? Yep, we are going to be bringing the URC still on the channel. It is just the fact that at the moment the games aren't taking place. A good first half from the Highlanders. Yeah, very good first half. They actually, the only thing they may say like that they're disappointed about is the fact that they just didn't get more than the one try. You know, they got those 3 points early on, but I think they would have liked one more. Just in that first half to feel that little bit more safe. You know? And we have got there, where's George, says Nars Williams. I assume he'll be watching this game. Either that or he will be at work. At the moment, it looks like they are just throwing out a whole heap of merchandise into the zoo. But the Highlanders have put on a decent showing in front of their home crowd for the start. Oh yeah, they're chucking a whole heap of beanies at Lema Sopawang. He had about 7 of them in his hand. How is it fair that the Blues have 2 games back-to-back away from home? Says Kiwi Rob. I mean, it's just the way that the draw works. You can't have every game at home. I think that other teams experience it as well throughout the regular season. So, yeah, they're not the only ones who have to experience away games. 1 second, we'll go like that. First week, Chiefs are away from home. Second week, Chiefs are away from home. So the Chiefs literally do it first before the Blues do it. Because the Blues have the home game here for this week. We have got there, because the Blues suck, says Jason. I like the colour blue though, says Mutchim. And can the Landers pull away in the second? I believe they can. I think if they score early, they'll have a decent crack. But they have to get it right from the get-go. If the Crusaders keep on dropping that ball, like, that's where the damage can be done. I also mentioned the Brumbies also have 2 away games in a row. Moana Pacifica also have 2 away games in a row. Those games all take place before the Blues are away twice. We have to go all the way to Perth though, Hamish. Okay, I see. So it's like a competition of how far they have to travel being away. Wait, so they go from the Force to the Brumbies. That's all right, isn't it? That could be worse. They could have been away from home for the second week and then away from home in New Zealand for the third week. There would have been a lot more travel. And then all the way to the Brumbies from Perth, says Kiwi Rob. See, you're trying to make me feel sorry for them, but I just don't at all. You know, like, it's not that bad. They could have been going to South Africa. Remember when they were in the competition? Or Argentina. Like, they could have ended up having to travel a lot further. But 2 games in a row in Australia rather than going Australia, New Zealand, Australia, or anything like that, I feel like would be kind of better, wouldn't it? We have got their Super Rugby needs South Africa back, says Yandre there. And did Santa not give you a Highlanders jersey for Xmas, Hamish, says Jason? He did not, no. I ended up getting a Springbok one just after Christmas as a gift. But outside of that, no Highlanders kits around. Who's your AB's captain and thoughts on player power? Yeah, that's a bit of a talking point lately, isn't it? Like, I still think they'll go Ardie Savea as the captain, but I know that now people will try and rebel against it because he's the guy who got a majority of the blame. I think the bigger concern isn't what's happening in terms of the players who gave a bad review a razor. I think the concerning part is the fact that they didn't ask everyone in the squad. You know, if you're going to do a team review, you at least have to ask the whole team. So that would be more of my concern, to be fair. The fact that half of the senior Crusaders players didn't even get talked to about what was happening, I think is New Zealand Rugby's blunder, rather than the ones who did say that they weren't happy with Fraser. How are you doing the seventh coverage? We are going to be covering it because it's on Rugby Pass TV this week. What is Super needs South Africa? You must see if South African clubs get smoked. It was good for them to leave. Yeah, and they're having very successful URC seasons as well in most cases, which is fantastic to see. I saw on the news D-Mac got married. We all know they can't score those got women's those got women's if they weren't that. Didn't Damien McKenzie's wife have a baby like this week or something? And I think that's why he's not playing. Can live stream Fortnite instead? Nah. Terrible game. We have got their true CCAI underdog pick. And hot, says Naz Williams. The second half of this contest is not too far away from getting underway. But more lower scoring than people would have expected. But at the same time, when you look through at the way that the table sits, or in terms of what these two sides did actually recently last season, this game's very similar to the one that took place in Christchurch. That was a low-scoring game, and the head-to-head at the moment, the Highlanders are $3 underdogs at this halftime break, which is quite surprising. Anytime try scorers, Leicester Whainānuku and Sevu Reece are both expected to get over the line in the second half, but they've hardly touched the ball throughout the first. So I'll wait to see whether or not it does become the reality. Fortnite's better than rugby, says Rare Minion in there. And also we got the man, says Mochim. And also we have got there, just go look at how many Super Rugby titles South Africa clubs got. Let's travel for them in Europe and mix it up. Get to see Europe instead of that long flight for a pumping, says Stasi. Casey going okay out there. Yeah, Craig, sorry, not Craig Casey. That's the old bloody halfback for Munster, isn't it? But Lucas Casey, he's doing not too bad. And hopefully he can kind of continue that form throughout the season because he's probably got a decent chance of, well, I'd like to think at least All Blacks 15 as the potential way of going. For Lucas Casey, I have to be honest, we South Africans do miss Super. We enjoy getting up early, watching some great rugby. URC is nice. But Super was different, says Yandre. And where's Super Rugby teams from? Says Mohadeen. So there are 5 from New Zealand, 4 from Australia, 1 from Fiji, 1 from the Pacific Islands, like Samoa, Tonga, etc., but based mainly in Auckland. And we have got there how you think Sevu would go on the wing and league, says Naz Williams. He'd probably go all right. He's pretty clinical, Sevu Reece. So, yeah, I feel like he probably would go all right no matter what sport he tried overall. The Blues dominated when South Africa was in Crusaders. There's only a couple that the Bulls, I think, got. Sharks may have got one, but not many, says Stasi. And the late great Inga the winger, says Sock. How's the game on the background, but there's no people in there? Did you kidnap everyone in the stadium and make fake scenarios? How is this possible? There are people there. So obviously didn't get everyone, did I? Actually, I heard through a grapevine that New Zealand has 6. Says our underdog pick. And Inga the man, says Naz Williams. Yeah, I guess, well, that's the thing. They have players from Samoa, from Tonga, from the Cook Islands, yet they play maybe 1 game a year in the Pacific Islands if they're lucky, like in terms of Tonga, Samoa, etc. So it's, yeah. I feel like they've got to get at least 3 or 4 games over there. And then people can really complain about having to travel far for away games. But sure, it would be better rugby on Super if South Africa was in, says Stasi. And also England the man, says Naz Williams. And there as well. I think the longest part of this game has been the halftime break. I think we're coming up to around probably 15 minutes, if not a little bit longer, at this point in time. 1 second, we'll go like this. We'll go like that as well. One second. We'll go like that. And like that as well. Just looking at the way that the table, well, not so much the table sitting, but in terms of where teams are heading, the relatively near future. Be an intriguing one. I've actually got a graphic too. 1 second. Rather than just reading it off, we'll go like that. Boom. We've got things that pop up, ladies and gentlemen. Highlanders are playing the Chiefs in the next contest. That'll be taking place next week. Now, don't worry about the 9 days' time. It's actually about 8 days now, the way that it sits. The Reds are then playing the Highlanders. That one is in Australia for that contest. And then from there, Crusaders versus Brumbies. Chiefs versus Crusaders in there as well. So there's just some good games that are going to take place. Hopefully, like I said, we get a little bit more smoothness than this matchup because currently it's just not quite going. And Holo is the man, says Stasi there. I reckon it could be an All Black, says Stasi. Why are the Highlanders underdogs? Shouldn't they be playing rugby instead of lying down with dogs over them? Says Jason. Listen, mate, we didn't ask what you do in your spare time. This Highlander side, they are a decent unit. And they've impressed me in this game, to be fair. They're actually looking all right out there on the field. They just need one big piercing run to be able to break them through. Strippers paint. Strippers paint strippers. What are you talking about, Ruth? Nothing says strippers like Miss Up here. I have no idea what's happening. How did you guys get onto strippers in the chat? That's kind of winger you want. 10, 20 meters out. Just a big charging unit. Sounds familiar. 1 second. We'll go like this as well. We'll just check to see. Okay, so yeah, $3 underdogs still here for the Highlanders the way it sits. I think Tower's on fire, so he's keeping it simple. And also we have got Roof had a few no's. Yes, a couple changes. De Groot and Ta'aval have both made their way onto the field. I would have loved to see Tavatavanawa in the ABs last year. I also don't out Hamish. It's only necessary to cover Chiefs and Hurricanes games, says Simon. Are you doing playing cricket the weekend? No. So no cricket for me, as our team have a bye, but the junior team that I coach, they are playing tomorrow morning. So I'll be heading away nice and early in the morning to drive up to where they're playing. Hopefully they go all right, although it is also supposed to be quite wet. So there is a chance the game might not happen. But now kicked off by Reves Rehana, back underway. Crusaders currently leading by the 2 points over the Highlanders. Good Southern derby at the moment. Sitting relatively close. 7-man, the baldy from Blues mean. But I reckon wingers like the bus and the holo. That's called force mass. Oh, little bit of push there. Ethan Blackett getting held back. Ethan de Groot, I think, was the one who fired him up. It's a battle of the Ethans at the moment. And there's a bit of feeling out there on the field. As your Valentine's, your TV screen, not quite, but PC screens. Because I will be sitting here on Valentine's Day for a good about 13 hours streaming. So I don't really have time to do anything else. Mexican chicken strippers from Spar Supermarket, says Ruth. That's an interesting take from Angus Gardner right there. He's pretty much said it was between two players. You don't need to come in and escalate it. Keep it between those two players. So in other words, those two players can absolutely go at each other, but just don't get involved. Let them scrap it out. That's not quite what he said. I don't burn out Hamish, all joking aside. Says Simon. It's going to be a bit of a hectic weekend. Last weekend was crazy. We had a lot of hours of streaming. I think it was about 12 within about 15-hour period or something like that. But we'll see how we're going. We might look a little bit different by like Sunday morning by the time we're done the Super Rugby games as well as the Six Nations. Ready to strike this one though. There's a Rehana just to add the additional 3. And does do so. Straight down the middle. 13 points to 8 now. I sound like a strip club here. Hamish, says Ruth. Crusaders now taking the lead by 5 points. So they were able to take one just at the end of the first half and now adding the additional 2. We have got the mate, you're saying we're going to have to put up with your biased opinion only, says the underdog pick. My biased opinion, who's that towards? I know you might be joking, I assume, but then I'm trying to think of which team I show a little bit of bias towards out of the sides. To be fair, it sounded like I was going for Italy up against Scotland. We have got their Six Nations prediction. I think who we got? France will win. They're playing Wales. They'll get them good. Scotland, England's interesting because 4 of the last 5 have actually been won by Scotland. But I think England, Ireland, France were the 3 winners. And we have got there as well. Don't burn your candle at both ends. I get a torch instead, says Jason. Do you like me, says Mohadin. I don't mind you, Mohadin. You're all right. You do ask pretty much every weekend whether or not I still like you, though, So don't panic. We don't change our opinion that quickly. Now sitting 40 metres out from the line, looking for the steal. He's done a handstand. He's gone sideways, but Falafakatava has managed to win the penalty for the Highlanders. And hey, Hamish, hope you're well. So Soak Super Rugby is back. Just missed those Friday mornings, Crusaders versus Sharks or the Stormers. Where can I watch it for free? Sadly, there aren't a lot of free options around the place. Sky's really your only one, but it is a paid subscription for us here in New Zealand anyway. You will be able to see the highlights on YouTube, though, on the Super Rugby YouTube channel after the games. Jack Taylor's showing a bit of aggression there. Don't mind it. Says keep it simple. That one's going to be a kick to the corner for the Highlanders here. It's another turnover in the breakdown. They have been exceptional. That's a very praising word, but they've looked really good in the breakdown so far. I can't read that one. Oh, nice run forward from Jonah Lowe. Sitting 3 metres out from the line now. And the Highlanders with a chance of scoring. Popping it in behind. And over the line they go. It's going to be Angus Tarval who manages to score for the Landers. Right, there might have been a checking of some sort. They're checking for a bit of obstruction here. Unfortunately, I will not be playing this season, so all games are cancelled. Says Mochim. I have no idea how to say your name, by the way. I just make it up every single time. But it was a great attack and run from Jonah Lowe right up the middle. He's actually had a decent try-scoring rate throughout the last little while. I will not read it. I read it in my head, and that's all we're gonna do. TK Howden was in front. He did block Jamie Hanna a little bit, but I don't know. I think it's all right. I don't think he held on to him for long enough to stop him from being able to get there. Nice go, Landers. There's Naz Williams. We have good there, sorry, but I don't like you as not that way inclined. But each their own, I guess, says Jason. And I hope Andre Pollard's playing this. Yeah, he will be. He will be getting a few minutes for the box. That kick has gone over, making the score now 15-13. 1 moment, I'm about to sneeze again, so we'll quickly mute once more. We are good. Self-love is important, says Mochim. Would you go onto a fancy dress party as Mr. Iguana or Joe Hendry? I feel like Joe Hendry's easier, because, like, if you're doing it as Mr. Iguana, you've got to find an iguana puppet, don't you? That's a bouncing ball. It's charged down by Ethan Group, but I think it's a knock-on. I also meant Ethan Blackadder rather than Ethan de Group. I've got 2 Ethans in this game. How are the underdogs going, says Jason. Well, the underdogs are almost turning in this contest. And there she says Melissa there, and gulp, says Rhea Minion. I've never actually gone back to watch a stream when I've had a drink. Can you guys hear when I'm drinking, or is it quiet enough that you just, like, it's just silent? Yeah, I'm going to be self-conscious about what I sound like when I swallow water. So we have there, bless you as well. And third, game's fizzing. Now, breaking off the back, Lucas Casey, 10 metres out from the line currently. Hamish, we all know you got some vodka in that bottle, says Naz Williams. That'd be a lot of vodka to take in one hit, though. It also wasn't me saying no, was it? It's super quiet, says Melissa. Okay, that's good to know. See, that's why I mute the sneezes, because people like just sneeze anyway, but I'm like, I don't want to blast your eardrums with me just sounding like I'm yelling. I bet my chain to the Crusaders, says Lahoz. Now, nicely taken by the Crusaders. It wasn't straight in the line out. Mistake made by the defending champs again. Who's got the ball? It is going to be the Highlanders ball now. The Crusaders did have themselves a line out, but they butchered it once more. Chucking it away. Real Million doesn't like your haircut. Adam, says Mochim. I'm not the biggest, like, my haircut, my hair just doesn't sit right, so I've kind of accepted the fact that it's never going to look great. So, like, yeah, I'm all right with it. I don't drink too much, Hamish, or your streams will need to be done from the urinal. That'd be an awkward stream, wouldn't it? In both regards. Now, nicely taken. Reves Rehana from inside of his 22, going for the low kick, aggressively down the middle of the field. Taken by Cam Miller inside of the 22 again. Currently, we've got 32 minutes remaining in this contest, and the Highlanders got themselves a handy 2-point lead. Mochim talks too much, says Rear Minion. It's probably something we can agree on, Rear Minion. Now line out throw here. They're just showing the bench options. They've got Henry Bell, Stoddard, Lasanga, Lennox, Pasitoa, and also Tenuelu Talia in there too. Now pass back across to the left-hand side. Caleb Tangitau goes across to the Mothi. Tava Nawai manages to get through the tackle. Tito Braden in, ball on the outside to Jonah Nariki. He's running a hard. Got Jacob Ratamatavuki Neptons on the outside. Offload to Jonah Lowe. He scores again just like he was at the end of last season. And the Highlanders take the lead by even more. That is quite the team try there from the Highlanders. And Kia ora, bro. Good to see Crusaders Rugby is back. Here's to another good year for this upcoming season. Andy Scott from York in England. It is great to have you here for this stream. That was a nice short little snappy run from Timothy Tava Nawai. Got the pass on the outside to Nariki, and then it's just pure pace from Jacob Ratamatavuki Nepkins. Great tackle made from Noah Hotham. Would have stopped Jacob Ratamatavuki Nepkins from being able to score at Highlanders. And down. That's that, man. And then commentary awesome says Nazi Williams. And there as well, why the Chiefs doing so well. Is in pre-season. I think they just found a little bit of a rhythm there. 1 second, we'll go like that. And we'll go like that as well. And Crusaders absolutely useless, says Gavin. Landers standing on business, says it was there from Kaikos. I said your name wrong last time too. I felt that too great. Little bit of a calling there, says Sock. And yes, says Callum the Grey. So yeah, the Highlanders now, they lead this contest 22-13. And Cody Taylor, he has made his way onto the field. Fletcher Null is out there. Corey Callow has gone on there too. George Bauer. They're making all their changes. I do see that Taha Kamara is also making his way on. Don't panic. I'm not stripping completely. I'm just taking my jersey off. It's quite hot in this little room. Million. Oh, I can't read that, Mochi. We have good there. Did the kick go over? It did. So making the score now sit 22-13. Yep, Fakatava kicks this one up high. Cody Taylor will get stuff done, says Mochim. Oh no, that was from Gavin. It's the vodka, mate, says Gavin there. Now quick tap taken by the Highlanders, going for the grubber and behind. The ball sits up for the Crusaders, running onto it. Oh, that's a crunching tackle to the spine there. Looks like Kimura has been completely flattened. It's going to be the advantage now. So I'd assume that they have taken Reves Reihana off in this case. Maybe. Right, they're just talking about the changes here. And Will Jordan, he's actually also on the field. Much fluff on my jersey or on my shirt. What is going on? Says Yasmin, yeah, the Highlanders are striking big time. The worst thing is, in the intro of the stream, I said that they may be struggling without Fabian Holland and without Dylan Fletcher. And here they go, just fully going for it in this game. So yeah, Reihana's already off, ladies and gentlemen. And also, nice t-shirt. Amish, is it Puma? It is, yes. I have a lot of Puma t-shirts. There is a story behind it, but it's just a boring one. Now kicked him behind from Jonah Nariki from the back. Jacob Ratamatavuki Nepkins tries to chase it. Here comes Will Jordan. Here comes the impact man for the Crusaders. He can change a game, and he's just made 60 metres of his first run of the contest. Turnover's good though. Highlanders back in the breakdown, managing to get the steal. That is phenomenal work from the home team again. Now trying the chip, that was risky from Caleb Tangitau, and it sits up for Severis, but he's dropped it again. And Jacob Ratamata Vuki Nepkins has taken it. Pakatava goes to Jack Taylor. He's decided he's going to go for the kick and behind now. This game's kicking off well and truly. We have got the SO from South Africa. Says a Marshall there. One's gone into touch. This has been quite a hectic start to the Super Rugby season. But yeah, Will Jordan makes his way on and just beats everyone when it comes to meters made. And Saders need a KO. Good move early in this heavyweight. I'm surprised at how well the Highlanders are playing in this game. I didn't expect this from them. Yeah, I think this is surprising a lot of people. In terms of it's just been really good. And don't get me wrong, the Crusaders have been poor at times with their handling and whatnot. But at the same time, this is beautiful stuff from the Highlanders. Jonah Nariti cutting back inwards. So they sit 25 metres out from the Crusaders line again. Highlanders all the way, Callaway. Says keep it simple. Back across the right-hand side. Falau Pakatavi goes to Timothy Tavatavanaawai. Now left-hand side. Craig Casey. Taken down round the halfway line. Now left hand again, Cam Miller. Taken down was TK Howden. Or rush defence from the Crusaders on Ollie Hay. Back across to the left. TK Howden has another carry, tackled by Lester Whainanuku. We're trying to milk the penalty. Falau Pakatava gets told to stop that from the referee. Now Timothy Tavatavanaawai. Good face play at the moment from the Highlanders. They're not really moving forward, but at the same time, okay, they were trying to milk the penalty again. They're the Highlanders. Angus Gardner's pretty much saying, if you keep on doing that, I'm still not going to give you the penalty. Now, after TK out and again tackled by Lester Whainaruku, that seems to be the head-to-head clash at the moment taking place. I believe that's 3 times in the last about minute and a half that has happened. Cam Miller passes across to the Mothi Tavatavanaawai. One more to Caleb Tangitau. Wrestled down low. Are you covering the Rugby League World Cup this year? I am hoping to. And I think it actually works quite well in terms of the games don't overlap massively with the November internationals in rugby, seeing as the November internationals are happening up north and the Rugby League World Cup's taking place in Australia. So I don't think there's any overlaps, which is fantastic. And yeah, I had such a good time covering the Pacific Nations Cup that took place last year in terms of Tonga, Samoa and New Zealand that I'd be more than happy to jump in to that World Cup as well, if it is something that you guys, of course, want to see. I just realised I haven't even got myself in the middle anymore. There we go. That's better. Currently 55 minutes through. They are still in the lead, the Highlanders. And not only are they in the lead, they're in the lead by 9. Did you see the meeting about the World Cup? The meeting? What was the meeting, Mohadim? Was that like the draw in terms of when the teams are playing? Thrown into the Crusaders line out. Shelfoon takes it nicely. Ethan Blackadder running straight at Miller. Driven backwards. Tries to offload the ball. Noah Hotham drops it backwards. Picks it back up. They need to score soon here, the Crusaders. Another drop ball from Braden Eno. I have no idea what's happened to the ability when it comes to handling for the Crusaders, but it has completely disappeared. Off to the left-hand side once more. Ethan Blackadder, another offload, goes to Taha Kamara. Recently made his way onto the field for the Crusaders. Braden Eno, tackled by Timothy Tavatavanaawai. And we have got there, another Landers try and bound. Ball still on the side of the Crusaders, though. There's a lot of loose ball at the moment happening in this contest. Now Shelfoon. Tackle made on Sean Withy. Jamie Hanna, pick and go, round the side of the breakdown once more. Timothy Tavatavanaawai, he's lost his footing. Now Shelfoon, round the side. Blackadder, pick and go. Is Christian Leo Willie still out there? I'm looking round for him, but I haven't seen him in quite some time. In fact, I don't even remember seeing him in a wee while. I think he's been taken off the field for Corey Callow. Now he's dropped that ball. Tried to go into the breakdown. Should have left it for the halfbacks or the forwards. As he has ended up going in there and just slapping that ball on the ground and making it a scrum for the Highlanders. Sounds like more subs are taking place. 57 minutes through. Can the Crusaders come back into this game? Because they just haven't looked likely. Is the plain and simple way about it. There was the low-scoring game that took place in Christchurch last year. Now, neither of those sides looked flash throughout that contest, and it was a little bit more of a slower trying to get something going type of match. This game, there's been plenty of opportunity to get something going, but it's just been a monumental failure for the Crusaders to get more than a few phases together. And we're talking about the side that won the championship last year, a side that are normally known for being clinical. Yet the Highlanders at the moment, they're looking like the better side. out of the two. That's it. Crusaders keep evening up. I like that. Do your best. And we have got their... where are we? We've got... Are we starting too fast next week, Thursday? Says Mohadeen. Next week, Thursday. As in, like, when the first stream is. And some shadies there tonight. Or out there tonight. Yeah, there's Noah Hotham. Oh, penalty goes the way of the Crusaders, though. Front row collapsing for the Highlanders. I do see that Noah Hotham has removed or been taken off the field, and that is for Kyle Preston. Young man who got himself the AB's debut last year. Only got, I think it was one game off the bench, and then they got rid of him. Now time is off. They're saying there that there is going to be a sub or two. Lucas Casey, is he the one going from the field? I think he is. Just a little bit of a surprise, but he's had a really solid game. Jack Taylor, he is on now, so is Lasanga. Lasanga could be an impact player. Do let me know, ladies and gents, who do you think is going to go on to win this game? Because both of these sides have a great opportunity to do so. But one is looking that little bit safer. But at the same time, the other is sitting 5 metres out from the opposition line in a good position. Second, we'll go like this. Oh. Okay, Angus Ta'aval looks like he's got a bit of a neck injury at the moment. Does look like a concerning one for him. He's just talking about the fact that he's come back from a broken neck. He did score earlier on in this contest. How many points for a converted try? 7 points in total. For that one, we have got Hay. And there as well, welcome in. Just showing a throwback of way ago when these two sides played off. The Highlanders defeated the Crusaders 29-27 in their first match in 1996. It's a little bit of history. That was before I was born. It might have been a young Jeff Wilson. And also Justin Marshall's out there too, by the looks of it. In fact, I think both of them may have scored in that first match. And we have got there, hey, Yule. Now rolling more chance here. Going off the back, Ethan Blackadder gets a couple metres out. Almost a steal there from Lasanga in the breakdown. Jay Fiaki, pick and go once more. Ball's available there. Oh, bit of a wrestle there in the breakdown going on round the side. I think Lasanga was just telling Jamie Hanna all about it. I'll just stay onside here, the Highlanders, but 2 metres out from the line, the Crusaders now. Looks like Fletcher Newell's going to have a crack at it. 1 metre out from the line, advantage now played in favour of the Crusaders. Looks like they might use their back line. Here comes Kyle Preston. Poor pass. It does bounce into the hands of Fine Anuku, though. Look for the offload. It's all scrappy from the Crusaders. It is very uncharacteristic. The poor pass from Preston just led to no attacking urgency from this Crusader side. Drop it, they certainly did. But now 5 metres out from the line again. The Crusaders with another opportunity. Okay, Cody Taylor asking for a yellow card. Referee says it's the first time that they've given away this type of penalty, so you're not getting it. Looks like the scrum is the choice here for the Crusaders as their line out just hasn't quite been functioning as well as they would have liked. What is a mince and cheese pie missing the cheese called? I'm sure you can work that one out yourself, Jason. And try garlic sauce. Lift the pie, lit up, spread that garlic sauce. Ooh. Does it work with garlic butter too? That sounds like it would actually be alright, to be fair. Definitely if it's a steak and cheese pie, because you have like garlic butter with steak, don't you? So, maybe. Now, last quarter of this contest. Highlanders turnover, come on boys, says Kai Kus. And Hardmate says Naz Williams. It looks like Ta'avao is going to be continuing in this contest, even with that little bit of a sore neck. And we have got the Highlanders D. Has been solid so far, I'm sorry, but I don't think Jamie Joseph should be our coach. after one win against the Crusaders, says Kiwi Rob. I mean, to be fair to him, though, if there was ever a time to, like, try and put your name in the hat, it would be, like, now's the perfect time to win games, isn't it? Theoretically. We have got their works with KFC. Everything garlic sauce. Garlic sauce is good. We're going off to the left-hand side now. Braden Enor back across to the left. Will Jordan trying to step through. He gets right over the line and scores the try. When the Crusaders need someone to be able to change a contest for them, they send the ball to Will Jordan, and he scores pretty much every single time. Crusaders have the Razor hangover. That is great work there. Big Ben steak and cheese excellent, says John. And who's Ben and why is he so big? He's a clock. But now Will Jordan just showing off that step, going through. Power game as well, not too bad from Will Jordan. Hey, Mr. Kiwi Sir, I was in class. How has the game been so far? Says Taiwan. It's been solid for the Highlanders. They've had so many turnovers in the breakdown, but this is the concern with a side, once again, like the Crusaders. And it sounds like, you know, it's high praise for a team who have played below par. But the fact that they have been as shaky as they have been, and they're only down by 2, it is impressive to a certain extent. The Highlanders, though, they can win this game. They just need to get it right a little bit. And what time is the Chiefs game? Is it 4:30? It is not 4:30. So the Chiefs versus Blues is taking place at 8:05 p.m. South African time. And Jordan would make a good NRL player, says Naz Williams. Currently, he is sitting 4th. The overall Crusaders try scorers records. Cody Taylor is tied with him at the moment on 48. Kicking this one off long. Taken by Sever Reese. Side of his own 22. Being told to use it. Now Preston wins the next game. I am going to be covering Waratahs versus Reds, which is happening just around the corner. And that one is at 9:30. We are starting that one. Hi, says Rhea Minion. Welcome once again. You got double high, 2 highs in a row. And we have got there as well Jordan playing. He certainly has. He's just scored himself the crucial try for the Crusaders. Although they are missing a couple internationals. No Tamaiti Williams for this game. Oh, great steal in the line out there for the Crusaders. Ball almost knocked on by Kyle Preston, but he's kind of rolled backwards with it. And can Crusaders win this? Says Gillan. Happy New Year's, Amish Bro. Same to you. Yeah, I hope you are excited for the Super Rugby season. Albert Yabi's out there for the Crusaders. They have got, 1 second, we'll do some maths. They had, do you count George Bell as a Crusader, as an All Black, even though he hardly got any game time whatsoever? Oh, another penalty going to be awarded here to the Highlanders. But they got Blackadders kind of, I guess, but then at the same time, once again, didn't really play. Hotham, Whanganuku, Reese. So they got 3 in the starting lineup. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 off the bench. Because Kyle Preston got like 5 minutes for the All Blacks and then that was it. So yeah, not as many as they'd normally have. And we have got there, can Scott Barrett still play this season for the Crusaders? I believe so. I have economics now, Mr. Kiwi Sir. I'll be back in a little bit. So yeah, hopefully it does go well for you. And we are going to be still going on the stream for another 3 hours or so from this one to the Waratahs Reds. So be sure to check that one out as well. Looks like Kyle Preston's actually going to have to make his way off the field because his mouthguard said he's a bit sore. Has pinged for the HIA test. So Noah Hotham's back on. Now Lasanga, nice take there. And we have there Cody Taylor's for the AB. Skipper says keep it simple. Now off the left-hand side, Tenuelu Talia. 3 hours, Christmas come early, says Taiwan. Now Lasanga off to the left-hand side. In fact, no, that time it was TK Howden. Does have the carry. Lennox is playing half. A solid shot on Will Stoddard. He wasn't held, so can go again. Corey Callow looking for the turnover and the breakdown, but very nice work from Ta'avao to keep it on the side of the Landers. Now Jacob Ratamotavuki Nepkins. Now to the right. TK Howden. Now Lennox passes across to Tenuelu Talia. And also, we have got there, I hope you're wrong, says Sock. And Merry Christmas, everyone, says Jason. Well, to be fair, we're getting close to Christmas, only about 10 months away. Now, left-hand side, Lennox goes to Timothy Tavatanawai. 16's done well to get out of there, that being Cody Taylor. 10 phases in a row now for this Highlanders side, and Cam Miller goes for the kick in behind. It wasn't the right choice. And now they have to leave Will Jordan, who's taken off again. It's causing them all sorts of issues. He breaks through 2, goes for a 50-22. It doesn't look like it's going to quite work out. It's Caleb Tangitau who has to force that ball inside of the in-goal area. But that is a brilliant bit of work again from Will Jordan. Just cuts through absolutely everyone. Gets through Tenuelu Talia. And then wanted that 50-22. Didn't quite get it right. It'd be a great redemption story if Dave Rennie gets the head coach job. It would be massive for him too. And by the sounds of it, he's not the most unpopular choice in terms of, like, out of the guys who are possibilities. Where can I watch the game on? So it's on Sky. It's on Stan Sport. Super Sport have it too. Sadly, there's no real free-to-air subscription options. Oh, no. That was Dom Garner. He was getting ready to start charging and drop the ball onto his foot. No one was within 15 metres of him, and he's dropped the ball. Jordan looks like he's playing a grade down, says Freshman there. But yeah, Super Rugby YouTube channel was a great way of watching the highlights for these games, which I would highly recommend. Time left at the moment. There are 13 minutes remaining in this contest and 2 points separating these two sides. They're just talking about that impact of Will Jordan. He could win them this game if he keeps on playing the way that he is. But that one's kicked down the middle of the field for Taha Kamara, taken by Jananariki just inside of their own 22 now. Cam Miller for the Highlanders, kicking it downfield. Back to Severis. Let's go high. And down the middle of the park, Nariki takes nicely, gives it off to Caleb Tangitau. And now, well taken again by Will Jordan. Gone for the low, stabby kick. Very outstanding commentary, says Christopher Parks. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. We're here for a lot of the Super Rugby season. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Fiaki. Cross again. They're going high with Taha Kamara. Fiaki is after this, and he was almost winning the foot race, but it was slapped back by Lennox. It's up for Tenuelu Talia. Looks for the offload straight into the hands of Blackadder. It's a battle with the mullets. Blackadder ends up with ball in hand. Hotham goes back across to the right. Okay, referee was just talking to the TMO about potential foul play. Will Jordan out wide, tackled low, good protection of the ball, and the breakdown from Cody Taylor to be able to get rid of Timothy Tavatanawai. That was an ugly tackle, says Kiwi Rob. So this will be a massive start to the season for the Landers. They can knock them off. Yeah, and the thing is, they're close at the moment. And how many times, though, have they been close and then fallen at just that final hurdle? It's not over yet, but they're looking good. They just need one big moment here to close out this game. One moment, I'm about to sneeze, so I'll very quickly mute. We are good. Now Ethan Blackadder with the fend. They're 40 metres out from the line at the moment for the Crusaders. Now passed out to Severis. Chipped in behind. It's gone straight out on the full. And we need to start, or we need to fast next week on Thursday. Are we starting to fast, says Mohadeen there. And definitely the vodka, says Gavin. All right, making his way onto the field now. It is Rejan Pasitoa. Where was he? I think they're talking about him being at the Brumbies. Okay, he was with the Force, then Northland. I feel like I remember seeing him playing for the Force most recently. Atelia's having a shocker off the ball, says Kados. See, at the moment, we're 70 minutes through this contest, and it is extremely close. But once again, if either of these, it sounds terrible to say, but we've just seen it so many times. If either of these sides were going to win from here, it would be the Crusaders, right? The Highlanders need something big. They need a try. They need a moment in the last 10 minutes that really secures this game. Because if they don't have that moment, the defending champions will. You watch Crusaders will take the lead till the last minute, then the Highlanders will strike winning it, and the dying seconds. Oh, okay, so you go on the opposite, the Uno reverse, how the Crusaders leading, then the Highlanders take it off them at the end. It's going to be an advantage for a high tackle in favour of the Crusaders. This kick would be about 30 metres out, and an additional 3 could soon be added. The ball's dropped again by the Crusaders. Their hands have let them down royally throughout this game. So anyone's game, says Jasmine there. And is there any chance the Red Machine is going to bring on some impact in the form of who? And not looking like a first versus last 2025, says Jason. And they have decided to call for the 3 points here, the Crusaders. It's a high shot from TK Howden. And Crusaders taking the kick, they certainly are. So once this kick, if it does go over, there'll be about 9 minutes remaining. Okay, TK Howden was just showing the referee. I thought I hit him here, and it kind of rode up to about here. Referee said, yeah, I know, which isn't what you want to hear, because then that makes it sound like it wasn't that bad. That's a 10-8 round. Are we almost into championship rounds too, says the AI underdog pick. Now Taha Kamara lines this ball up and gets it over. Crusaders now lead with 9 minutes remaining. Are they going to do it again? And somehow pull it off the jaws of defeat, or whatever that saying is. Victory in the jaws of defeat. Where does that saying actually come from? Because where are the jaws side of things in it? Like, why is it the jaws of defeat and not just from, like, almost defeat? Someone will know. They got the kick. They did indeed. 23-22. The way that it sits now and taken by Sever Reese inside of the 22 breaks through the tackle attempt of Tenuelu Talia. Crusaders attacking again. They have currently got the ball, but they may look to kick this one downfield with where they are on the field. 30 metres out. Now let's go. Says Jude. This one's kicked high. And Brady Newell's after it goes up for the ball. Never even got close to it. Actually ended up well and truly colliding with Pasitoa. And here we go. That's the first part of the plan. Now watch the Highlanders snipe the win. Says Kaikos. The ball's still there for the Highlanders. Being told to use it once more. Greetings everyone from South Africa, says Mark. That one's going to be put high again. Oh, that one went forwards off Gardner, I thought, but it is play on. Now Kimura again going down the middle. Taken for the Highlanders. 40 metres out from their line. Little shuffle attempted from Pasitoa. And I hope you good New Year's, Hamish, and a good Christmas, says Team in the 11th. It flew by. Like, I can't believe we're already 13th of February. I was thinking about it the other day, how I put some seeds in the cupboard before Christmas. And that feels like it was only a couple of weeks ago, but it was like a month and a half or so. Such a random thing to remember, but it was what I was thinking about the other day. Big kick downfield from Will Jordan. Doesn't find touch with it, though. Now the Highlanders, 30 metres out from their line. Here's Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. Decides to go high again with the ball, but it's taken by Jordan. You can't kick it to him. Tackled by the co-captain, Sean Withy. I think over or under 52.5. What do we got at the moment? 45. Surely it's under, right? Because it's 7.5. Wait. Yeah, I don't see them getting a try and something in this time. Lucas is the future AB7, says Demon. And South Africa's mid at rugby. They're just not, though, are they? Like, they're the double world champs. So if they're mid, what is everyone else? Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins goes to Henry Bell. Good to see you back, Hamish. I look forward to another year of trying to get you saying funny words. See, one bit of advice I'd give you. You got to put capitals for their names. If you have capitals for their names, I might get caught out eventually. But when it's lowercase, I normally read it too clearly. That annoying person in the crowd cheering for Ratamaitavuki Nepkins give me an... It'd take a long time to get through the name, that is for sure. Oh, little flick pass on the inside from Braden Enor. Got a few R's in his name. Now Noah Hotham going off to the right-hand side. Here's Sevu Reece. Passes back into Hotham. Made his way back onto the field due to the head knocker Kyle Preston. You must go blonde for if the Crusaders win. No, I just wouldn't look good as a blonde. It would look worse as a blonde, I should say. Now going back across to the right-hand side. Cody Taylor, open space for him. Tries to pass on the outside. Couldn't quite get it in the hands of Che Fiaki. It was just a little bit too far out in front. Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins decides to take it quickly for the Highlanders. They know that time is not their best friend in this scenario. 5 minutes left on the clock. It's a close game, and if this one is anything to go by the rest of the season, it is going to be a competitive old year. Gardner is having a poor night. Angus Gardner says freshman there. It's well taken in the end by Will Stoddard, but on the ball. Looked like the Crusaders had stolen it momentarily, but then it is a side entry from Jamie Hanna. Only you would tell us how to beat the system, says Jude. Yeah, I don't know why I gave you a tip for how to do it, as it will only be me who suffers. I go for a field goal. And they're not quite in the right part of the field as of yet. They're 30 metres out from their own line, but they've got the penalty and are kicking it downfield towards the sideline. Come on, Landers, make your moves, says Kaikos. It's got pace from Cody Taylor, though. Didn't realise Super Rugby was starting this weekend. I have no stake in the game, but go the Highlanders, says Kiwi NZ. Yeah, it's been close. The Highlanders have led for a majority of this game. Where's Hamish? Well, I think I'm me. I think. Maybe. But now, line out here on the halfway line, rolling maul. It's moving here for the Highlanders. They can still have the opportunity to take a 3, and it would give them the lead back, but they are a bit too far out to do that just for now. Cam Miller, skip pass on the outside. Regin Pasitoa goes to Caleb Tangitau. It's ruled as backwards. Pasitoa going for a chip in behind. There's a bit of space to work with there, but it's well taken. And it's a tackle on Taha Kamara. Looked like it could have almost been a tackle on the ground. It's going to be a use-it situation here for the Crusaders. Noah Hotham goes across to Fletcher Null. Highlanders starting the season with a great effort. Yeah, the problem is, though, they have to win this game or else, their heads will drop. Oh, I don't know if Hotham meant to do that. It looked like he was about to kick it downfield and then kind of maybe fumbled the ball and stopped himself, go for the 3 Kiwi Rob. They're back 30 metres out from their own line, so they need a lot more ground to be able to do that. Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins just kicks the ball away, but it's a penalty here for the Highlanders. A takeout off the ball. Playing the man without the ball penalty, 47 metres out from the line. And Chiefs look stacked and should be favourites to win the title, but as long as the Crusaders don't win again. See his Tama there. I don't know Super Rugby start today until I check the sports bet on TAB. Yeah, it has come around very quickly. We had Super Rugby pre-season for a couple of weeks, and now all of a sudden we're right back in to the action. Right, oh no. This is a big kick. Have you forgotten who the 10 is? Says Kiwi Rob. I have not at all. This is Cam Miller, a man who missed the kick up against the Crusaders in Christchurch to stop them from going to Golden Point time in the 79th minute of the game in 2025. I know exactly who was in that 10 jersey, and he will be having flashbacks like you cannot even believe right now. But this is his opportunity for redemption down in Dunedin in front of the home crowd to secure a potential win to start the season for the Highlanders. Has he got it in him? He's got the distance normally. But has he got the accuracy? Cam Miller, he strikes it and he gets it over. The redemption for now for Cam Miller as they sit 25-23 with about a minute to play. And Highlanders win, says Jason there. What a game this has been. Yeah, it's been very eventful. It's Miller time, says Mark Sony, and that one's got to feel good for him as well. He wasn't even worried about the kick, though. He was going back to the halfway line, trying to G up his side to get going, because just as quickly as the Highlanders won a penalty, the Crusaders have got around 90 seconds, in fact, to try and do the same down the other end. It's in the hands of Will Stoddard. Crusaders trying for the counter ruck. Lack of ball protection there for the Highlanders. They are down off their feet. This one's going to be ruled as unplayable when the Crusaders get the scrum. They are never out till the game's over. And now it's the opportunity for them to try and win a scrum penalty. As at the snipe in the dying minutes I was talking about, it might be. But now the Crusaders are going for the counter snipe. Scott Penny, he looks a bit nervous at the moment. The crowd, they are nervous. And F off home, Crusaders, says Jason. This game's not over yet. But now scrum feed for the Crusaders. 35 seconds remaining on the clock. They don't get much closer than this for an opening contest of a Super Rugby Pacific competition, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got plenty more coming up. The Waratahs are playing the Reds just a little bit later on tonight. The Blues and the Chiefs are playing off tomorrow. This game, though, it wasn't considered as too close in terms of the odds. The Highlanders were considered as the underdog, but they have come out and they have been a menace in those breakdowns. But the scrum now, the Crusaders, they try and win the penalty. Referee says, no, you don't. So now ball in the hand of the Crusaders. They've dropped it again, but it's gone backwards. That has been the summary of the day. In fact, if you're writing a transcript script of this game, it would just be literally Saders get the ball, Saders drop the ball. But they've somehow still got it. Are they going to drop it again? Or are they going to be able to hang on? Antonio Shalfoon dragged down about 35 metres out from the line. Chafiaki passes across to Cody Taylor. If there was ever a way for this game to end, it will be with the Crusaders knock on. I can tell you that right now. Timothy Tavatavanawa wanted the steal. Couldn't quite get it. Now big tackle made on Will Jordan. Noah Hotham back across to the right-hand side. Oh, little juggle of the ball there. But still holding it are the Crusaders. 3 men in there for the Highlanders, starting the game and ending it. Oh no, it's not going to be stolen. And it will be play on. Antonio Shalfoon taking the collision. 8 phases in a row here for the Crusaders. So they look to sneak their way through and take this victory in the final moments. They aren't making many meters whatsoever. Braden Enor, 2-man tackle on him. 11 phases in. They're looking for a penalty advantage, but they have not got it as of yet. And they may be waiting a long time as the Highlanders, they've been disciplined. Big run from Antonio Shalfoon once more. Ball is still there. Noah Hotham goes off to the right-hand side. Taha Kamara tries to duck underneath the tackle attempt of Ethan de Groot. There's a knock-on on the ground, and the game is over. The Highlanders win in Dunedin for the opening contest of Super Rugby 2026's season. And the team who were dead last are now celebrating big time. Jamie Joseph, is that the resume and the CV reminder that New Zealand Rugby need to put their man in the All Blacks role? If there was ever a time to do it, it's right now in terms of getting those type of victories, but it's a massive win for the Highlanders. I mentioned about 5 minutes ago, they had gone so far that if they were not going to win this game, it would have been probably the downfall of their whole season because they were so close and they get the rewards. It's another knock on from the Crusaders. I think I know what those boys are going to be doing during training this week because they dropped the ball about 20 times throughout this game. And I wish that was an exaggeration, but it actually isn't. It was not the best handling day. And the work and the breakdown from this Highlanders side was absolutely phenomenal. No Fabian Holland, no Dylan Pledger, but a win under the belt. What a game, says Tony there. And Joseph has to be up his has to up his dancing from Razor, says Venry there. And also we have got there, good, I'm glad, well done the Highlanders. And GG, great call, says Sock. And there was but Cam Miller slots over that last minute kick, and that's got to feel great for him. Like I mentioned, he had the opportunity to take it to Golden Point last year up against this Crusaders side in Christchurch. That kick missed on that day, but the one down south he got and manages to get that massive, massive victory. But nonetheless, ladies and gents, first game of Super Rugby is in the books. We've got 40 minutes, and then the next game will be taking place. That is the one happening between the Waratahs and the Reds. I will be covering that one on the channel too. So everyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will, of course, oops, I almost just knocked my mouse off my keyboard. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you guys in around 40 minutes for the next game.